I now understand the dynamic of the dollar and not just spending it, but where you spend it. And one of the things about us in our communities, we used to have everything in our communities. In recent years, however, those things have simply gone away, and there are no traditional types of stores to shop in. But when you realize how much money you spend and that it leaves your hand and goes completely out of your community to others and boisters their communities and their goals and their efforts. If we go back to what we did and circulate those dollars here among our community, that's what I want to do.
The concept of UJAMAA is actually originated in Tanzania in East Africa. And the concept basically is a word that means shared economics. It was a concept that was put into play in the early 1900s when Tanzania became independent, and its first president, Julius Nyerere, began to set up what he called UJAMAA villages and was looking at ways in which the newly independent country could find ways to become self-sufficient and not look for meeting their needs outside of the country and specifically outside of Africa. And so it was really about creating these sort of like kinship and family groups and smaller work groups that would cooperate and work together to meet what their needs were. The business that we created together that we called UJAMAA Collective was founded by a group of Black women here in Pittsburgh who wanted to cooperate and share wealth and work. We all were handmade artists and entrepreneurs and activists and folks who cared a lot about our community. We looked to different parts of Africa to be inspired and to really look at different examples of ways in which economics, business, and community development were being practiced by African people and specifically African women. And so we pulled forth a lot of principles and concepts that we felt like we could use and would be beneficial for us today. We actually work with artists who are local, regional, and global. And so the main point of our boutique is to create cooperative space. So making sure that artists can have a space that they can call their own personally without having this sort of overhead, like independently, that would be overwhelming for any person, but particularly if you're a low-income artist. And so it's really about shared space, shared marketing. The Hill District is where we kind of call home. It's our home base. But I think that it's also important that the models that we practice are ones that we can duplicate and replicate. I think that what we do is, there's nothing new under the sun. So of course, what we do has been done before in different places. I think that because of a lot of the failed policies around development have impacted African American neighborhoods so much that, it's been a long time since there was sort of this grassroots community own space like we have in the Hill District with our boutique. But it's important for us to, look at different models and to figure out ways to replicate those models outside of the Hill District, and also for us to do business with one another in ways that are mutually beneficial. For instance, last year we were able to activate on a relationship that we had been building with a group that's actually in Tanzania and created a fair trade contract with a group of sewers in Karagwe, Tanzania, and created a line of skirts and accessories for our boutique. We used one of our members to help us design those items.
I designed a skirt, a real simple skirt that has turned out to look well on everybody. It's from the Royal Roots collection, where we traveled to Tanzania and Uganda to shop for the fabric and also to have these skirts sewn by fair trade sewers in Tanzania. The skirts are beautiful and they are authentically made African fabrics and authentically sewn by African people.
We were able to basically do business in a way in which the ripple effect, I think, is really great, and we're still seeing the effect of it now. In 5 to 10 years, I'd see UJAMAA being able to really build on some of our international relationships. So being able to build the relationship that we were able to initiate last year in Karagwe, Tanzania, and continue to help those women as well as help ourselves grow in business and to be able to produce products that our community wants and needs, as well as to be able to really duplicate that model in some other ways and with some other groups in some other places. I think UJAMAA is a lot of things, and so I think the most important part that the community should know is that we are the community. So, you know, a lot of times we other ourselves and we other people, meaning that we don't see ourselves in each other. And so, you know, I want folks to see UJAMAA as an inspiration, but I also want folks to see it as their store and as their business and as something that they can call their own. I want folks to be able to participate in it in a way that is beneficial to everybody. I think the community plays a huge part in the future of UJAMAA Collective. I mean, we're not who we are without the community. I think that the condition of the community and our condition go hand in hand because we are who we seek to serve.